Hi everyone, this is Cecil again. Regular viewers of our channel will know that I operate a motel as well as a tour business in West Yellowstone, Montana. And one of the queries we often get is, why can't I access... Hi everyone, this is Cecil again. Regular viewers of this channel will know that I operate a motel as well as a tour business in West Yellowstone, Montana, and we get queries all the time from people who want a Yellowstone tour in the winter or who want to stay in the motel, Yellowstone Motel, in the winter as well. And that can be a bit of a challenge because most of the roads in Yellowstone are closed in the winter months. Let me take you through how you can get to see Yellowstone in the winter. Firstly, let's take a look at which Yellowstone entrances are open during the winter. Once again, regular viewers of the channel will know that there are 5 entrances to Yellowstone. You've got the west entrance, which is where our motel and our tour company are. This is the busiest entrance to Yellowstone National Park. Up at the top here, at Gardner, Montana, you have the north entrance, where you see Tower Roosevelt is the road leading to the northeast entrance where Silvergate and Cook City are. Let's drop down to Fishing Bridge and Lake Village, and that is where the road to the east entrance is, and there isn't a town right at the east entrance, but something like 50 miles away to the east is Cody, Wyoming. And then we have the south entrance. From the south entrance you would drop down over the Roosevelt Parkway, then Grand Teton National Park, and into Jackson, Wyoming. Now, it's important to note that when the winter rolls around, Now, it's important to note that when the winter rolls around, that effectively 4 of Yellowstone's 5 entrances are closed. The only entrance that stays open on a year-round basis is the north entrance, once again from Gardner, and that leads to Mammoth Hot Springs, which is where the park's headquarters are. And then from Mammoth, you can make your way down towards Tower Roosevelt through the Lamar Valley, and as far as the northeast entrance. Now, I go into this in a lot more detail in various of my other podcasts, but this, during the winter months, in fact, this year-round, is the only road that can be accessed, once again, on a year-round basis, from the north entrance to the northeast entrance. Let us now take a look at when these various roads open and closed. If you just go to Google, put in Yellowstone roads, and the first link that'll come up is Yellowstone Road Status Map. We just scroll down a little. This is the most important resource that is out there. It's more important than Facebook or any of the other social media. This gives us the fall closing date, so that took place earlier this month. The winter opening dates, the winter closing dates, and the spring opening dates. So we can see now that if you arrive after November the 1st, all the roads will be closed, except, as I've pointed out, the road between the north entrance and the northeast entrance. And they also point out that travel east of Cook City, and you'll remember that Cook City and Silvergate are up here, those roads are greatly restricted. And once early November rolls around and there's a lot of snow, you're not going to be able to progress past that point. This is obviously important because if you're planning a trip to Yellowstone, you just can't get in with your car through most of the entrances during the winter months. So what are the options? The options then, once the park opens again, and let's have a look when the park is going to open again for the 2022-2023 winter opening dates. The park opens again on December the 15th, and then the roads close gradually from March the 5th through March the 15th. So it is possible, as is noted here, to take a snowmobile and snow coach in from the various entrances to Yellowstone National Park. One of the queries that we get asked a lot as well is, well, can I take my own snowmobile into Yellowstone? And the answer used to be no until relatively recently. But now you can, and I do have another podcast on this in a lot more detail. If you go to YouTube and just search for Yellowstone Tours, which is the name of our channel, and it's the first link that comes up. And if you click on it and then just search within here, say for snowmobile, and that'll then bring up a couple of our videos that are relevant. Here's one. I want to take my own snowmobile into Yellowstone. How do I get a permit? I will post the link to this at the bottom of this particular video, and I'll turn my voice off there. But on this snowmobile trip, you can see we're heading back out of the park towards West Yellowstone, about to go past a small herd of buffalo, and they shouldn't be stampeding those buffalo the way that they are. Anyway, so you can take your own snowmobile into Yellowstone as long as it complies with certain regulations. So go to recreation.gov, and you can see the link up at the top there, and just search for Yellowstone. And it's going to bring up a bunch of different links. Scroll down until you see the one that says Yellowstone non-commercially guided snowmobile access. And this is basically a lottery, and I go into how you can accomplish getting your own permit to get in to the park in another one of my podcasts. So I'm not going to do that in any detail here, but there are a couple of things which you need to know about the snowmobiles that you're allowed to take in. And if you're not interested in taking your own snowmobile in, I will deal with the requirements for snowmobiles at the end of this podcast so I don't bore everybody else. Now, apart from taking a snowmobile into Yellowstone, you can book a snow coach tour, and this is what many people would prefer to do. So once again, just go to Google, put in Yellowstone Snow Coach Concessionaire. The top link will be the National Park Service link, and this will bring up a list of all the various concessionaires who can take you into Yellowstone during the winter months. You'll need to find out which one is based out of the entry date that you want to access, and then get in touch with them and ask them what the various options are about taking a snowmobile into Yellowstone. About taking a snow coach into Yellowstone. One thing that I should remind you of or advise you of if you haven't done this before, and that is that these snowmobile and snow coach tours sell out in no time at all. Particularly the period between just before Christmas until just after New Year. I'm recording this in November and they are sold out already. People start booking these months ahead of time, so if you're coming over the Christmas New Year period, I suggest that you consider making a reservation as early as you can, because that is the only way that you will be able to get into Yellowstone. In addition to these various concessionaires who operate from outside the park, You'll also find that the park concessionaire, which is known as Xanterra also offers snow coach tours from within Yellowstone. And if you just Google, as I did, Xanterra snow coach, it'll show you various of the different options that are available. With Xanterra, you would stay inside the park, although they do offer a service as well to pick you up from West Yellowstone and take you into Old Faithful. Now, in the year that I'm recording this, which I mentioned before was 2022, we received some really bad news from the National Park Service as a result of those floods that you'll recall happened in June. The Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel is closed. Unfortunately, the sewer system was washed away by the floods, so the hotel can't operate. And I don't know at this stage if Xanterra will be offering snow coach tours from within the park at Mammoth, although they will be doing so from Old Faithful, which is down over here, and you can take their snow coach from West Yellowstone into the Old Faithful area. So to summarize then, the ways that you can get into Yellowstone during the winter are to go to the north entrance and travel all the way from the north entrance past Mammoth, Tower Roosevelt, the Lamar Valley, but then you'd have to stop when you get just past the east entrance to Silvergate and Crotch City, because the road just to the east of Crotch City is closed. Then, apart from that, once again then, you can apply for your own permit to take a snowmobile into Yellowstone. And I told you that I would get back to some of the requirements. And if you read through all this information here, it does tell you what some of the requirements are, and I draw your attention to the best available technology standards. Now, if you just type in snowmobile BAT list, as I have there, do a Google search, it will bring up this information for you. That's the link over there, the National Park Service one again. And in order to preserve the environment to a greater extent, your snowmobile has to be BAT, Best Available Technology approved. And they give you a list of all of them, and you'll notice that most of them are Bombardier. I haven't looked thoroughly this year. Yes, there it is. You'll notice that just about all of the snowmobiles are Bombardier. From what I remember last year, there was one Yamaha one listed as well. There it is over there. Apart from it, the rest are all Bombardier. Now, the chances of you having a best available technology snowmobile yourself are pretty slim, so you can rent a BAT snowmobile from various of the suppliers, and the Park Service, and I know I jumped there really quickly, does have a list where you can rent a best available technology snowmobile. Now, the best available technology means that the amount of emissions, hydrocarbons and carbon monoxides, as you see here, have to be lower than the old two-stroke snowmobiles. In addition, the sound emissions have to be significantly lower. I mentioned in a previous video that this didn't seem that much, but somebody corrected me by sending in a comment on a previous YouTube video to say that this is not an arithmetic progression, and that there is an enormous difference between 67.3 and 67 and What the National Park Service is concerned about with the best available technology, or BAT standards, is that the environment be protected. They're concerned that the amount of harmful emissions from hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide be reduced, as well as the sound emissions. Now, I'd noted in a previous video that there wasn't much of a difference between 67 and 78 dBA, but somebody actually only a couple of days ago wrote in on YouTube and corrected me to say that it wasn't an arithmetic progression but a logarithmic progression, and that there was a tenfold difference at least between the 67 dBA and the 78 dBA that the old two strokes gave off. So I stand corrected in that regard. And then in addition, then the third way that you can get in, if you don't want to just drive in from the north entrance and go as far as Crook City because you won't be able to see any of the thermal features, or you don't want to apply for a snowmobile permit and your chances of getting that are really, really slim anyway, the third way is to take a snowmobile or snow coach tour from one of the park concessionaires, and you can take those from just about all of the park entrances. The reason I say just about all is that last year at least the north entrance one wasn't operating, and I don't know yet if anybody will be this year. And I also pointed out that the Cody entrance is a long way away, and please also remember that to get into the south entrance you'll have to basically start at Jackson and then make your way through Grand Teton, the Rockefeller Parkway, and then into Yellowstone. Thanks so much for watching another one of my Yellowstone podcasts. Remember, if you find my channel useful, please consider subscribing, as well as giving us a thumbs up. If you're looking for somewhere to stay in Yellowstone, please would you check out our motel, which you can see at ysmotel.com. We operate Yellowstone Motel in West Yellowstone, Montana. And I'm sorry it's taking... If you're looking for somewhere to stay in the area, please check out our motel, ysmotel.com. We operate Yellowstone Motel in the town of West Yellowstone. All of our rooms still do have full kitchens. If you are looking for a Yellowstone tour, please check out usaparktours.com/Yellowstone. If you're looking for a Yellowstone tour, please check out usaparktours.com/Yellowstone. We operate more Yellowstone tours literally than anywhere else in the world. The most popular. If you're looking for a Yellowstone tour, please check out usaparktours.com/Yellowstone. If you're looking for a Yellowstone tour, please check out usaparktours.com/Yellowstone. We operate more Yellowstone tours than literally anybody else in the entire world. The most popular starting location is Salt Lake City. West Yellowstone is another popular starting location, but also from Vegas, Jackson, LA, San Francisco, and so many other areas. Thanks for watching. I hope you make it to Yellowstone sometime.